second to record. All right, here we go. At any point, I imagine that lots of individuals are at work right now, but at any point, if you have any questions, please feel free to just drop those in the chat, and I will make sure that I'm answering those as we go along. We will also have a Q&A at the end of our time together. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our conference theme for March 7th, 2025. This will be our 5th annual conference, and our theme is rooted in legacy, driven by change. So we really want to be incredibly appreciative of the longevity that the CBSW has had now for 5 years. And so as we build our legacy, we realize that we want people, you all, to be a part of that. So we're really excited about our theme, excited about our design. For those of you who may be new to the CBSW, our mission is to engage, connect, and empower Black social work students and professionals. And so that is what we are looking to do as a nonprofit. That is why we exist. The purpose of our conference. This is really important because, you have the opportunity to choose any conference to go to, whether it's through your job for professional development, whether it's through just wanting to get your continuing education units as a social worker, whether it's just for pleasure, right, to fellowship with other people, other like-minded individuals. But the CBSW conference is a little bit different. It is intentionally and was intentionally created for a space to really highlight Black social work expertise, right? So we want to give Black social workers, professionals, and students. So students are also welcome to create a proposal, to submit one. We want to give a platform for Black social workers to really be elevated. And so we want people to be able to exercise their leadership skills. We want people to be able, those who come to the conference, to really sit under Black leadership. A lot of times when you go to conferences, you don't see people that look like us leading all of the workshops. And so we've created this beautiful space where the people leading the workshops not only look like us, right, but they're also social workers. So they understand our code of ethics. They understand different practice challenges that might come up. So we're really excited about how different our conference is and how specific our goals are. We also like to have fun at our conference. So we like to connect with people. We like to create connections. We want to be a space where Black culture is celebrated and where people feel like they can be themselves. So that is the purpose of our conference. Here's a little bit of the timeline, just so that as you all are thinking about, why should I submit a proposal or what benefits would that be for me? Just really wanted to share the growth of our conference. We started in 2020. Our first conference was in February of 2020, right before the world shut down in March, before COVID. So we were able, to have a really successful conference. We had about 90 people attend. And then we took the next year, I think that should say 2022, we took the next year, 2021, off because we were still, people weren't really ready to travel and we weren't sure what was going on. And so in 2022, we came back for our second annual conference, and that was a virtual only conference. And we had about 60 people attend that conference. We came back in person mostly in 2023. We had a hybrid option in 2023 and had over 120 attendees. And that was the first year we started reaching out into the community to get sponsorships for the conference. And then last year in 2024, we had 200 attendees, but we really were turning people away. That was the maximum amount that was allowed to us from our space. We had space limitations. And so we were super excited to be able to reach 200 people. We had 21 sponsors, which was huge to show that growth and partnerships, community partnerships. And so we feel like for our 5th annual conference in 2025, we feel like that we will exceed last year and exceed our expectations. So we're really, really excited about what's to come. So why should you present? All right. You get the opportunity to choose whether or not you want to come to our conference as a presenter. And so you will get exposure to a large audience of Black social workers. You'll have the opportunity to inspire and empower students and professionals. We are really heavy on student participation, heavy on students starting to network and get mentors right away so that they can last in our field and be excellent social workers. You'll also have the opportunity to network and build connections and opportunities in a space where you're truly yourself. And Nashville is a great city. So for those of you who are out of state or not living in Nashville, Nashville's a great weekend destination. And our conference, I truly believe it has its own vibe, but there's none other conference like it. So those are some of the reasons that we think are benefits of participating in our conference. So what exactly are we looking for in a proposal? We are looking for proposals that are creative. We're looking for proposals that are research-based. We're also looking for proposals that are inspiring, right? What areas of social work are you an expert in where you can inspire other people? What practical wisdom can you share? And also thinking about how is your idea, how can that connect to our conference theme? I think one of the things that's really, really important that everybody should know is that when we receive proposals, they are blind reviewed. What we say I work also in higher education, and what we say at scholarly conferences is this is a peer-reviewed conference. And so that means that when we get your information, we take all identifying information off of it. So your name, your workplace, any sort of affiliation, we remove that completely so that the committee just gets the content. We just get your title, your abstract, your actual proposal. So you can be rest assured that you're being judged on these components and not any kind of individual relationships that you may have with people. So I think that's important to know. We want to judge by the content. Okay, here are the proposal components. Presentation format, presentation theme, or track. That's new this year. We're asking people to kind of say, and I'll talk about this in a minute, oh, my theme is clinical, or my theme is ethics. Title, of course, that's very important, your abstract objectives, and then your actual proposal, the actual content. So what is the presentation format? You will choose either an interactive workshop or a panel presentation. And essentially what that is are you planning on doing this proposal, doing this presentation by yourself or with someone else? Or are you planning to do it with a group? So we are defining panel as 3 or more, and an interactive workshop is 1 or 2. And so you will choose that on your proposal. And here are the presentation themes or tracks. So like I said, this is newer this year. We haven't been as specific with what types of tracks that we offer. But as we're growing and as we're getting more and more individuals coming to the conference, I have created these tracks that people can decide what their presentation fits with. So there's a clinical track. That's if your proposal is going to talk about anything related to private practice, starting a private practice, leading a private practice, working in private practice, marketing for private practice, any sort of mental health, as we think about mental health diagnoses, suicide, trauma, any of that is going to fit under clinical. Are there new modalities or alternative therapies for the Black community? All of that would be under that clinical theme. The leadership theme is more about, are you helping people develop their leadership skills? Are you talking about support for Black leadership in predominantly white spaces? Are you talking about how to, as a leader, support other Black employees? So again, thinking about what type of leadership roles and responsibilities there are in social work. Is it macro? Is your theme macro? Are you thinking about policy? Are you thinking about community organizing, political involvement? Any type of nonprofit leadership would fit under macro. And then ethics. Does your presentation, does it have ethics embedded in it? Does ethics come to the forefront? If so, let us know that. Is your proposal more about well-being, right? Every year we've been blessed to offer yoga, like real yoga at our conference. And last year we also added another movement option with boxing. So is this a well-being topic? Is this about self-care? Is this about movement? Is this about meditation? Okay, so you will choose just one, but of course your topic might fit in multiple. So let me know, y'all, if you've got questions about these things. Okay. Now, as we're talking about the components, it's important to think about your title. Okay, your title. Really, some proposals and presentations are made or broken by their title. People will choose to come to your session because of your title. So we have a word limit on our title of 15 words or less. Make this fun, make this interesting. Some people in the past have used like song titles and they played on the words of the songs. And other people are like, look, let's just be direct and concise. This is what we're talking about, and this is the issue, which is beautiful as long as it's direct and concise. You want to think about with your title, can you create an image of your session with your title? If it's fun and a play on words, then maybe we know that that presenter has some humor, right? And that session is going to be lively and humorous. If it's very direct and concise, maybe this presentation is going to be very research-based. So think about the message you want to convey with your title. Title is so important, especially if there are multiple sessions per hour to choose from. So you want your title to really stand out. Okay, let's see. I have some examples here for y'all. Okay, so here are some examples of different titles that you can, that kind of give you those different areas that I was talking about. So this first title, Black Men's Mental Health, We Don't Need a White Savior, that was direct. It was engaging. People were intrigued. Like, what does that mean? Who's going to lead that? The second title, Data Rules Everything Around Me, Dream. That's a play on a song. Does anybody know the song? Can you drop the song name, the real song name in the chat? I remember people being so interested to say, like, oh my gosh, what's that? How did they do that? We know that song. And I do believe pieces of that song were played during that presentation. Another one was racial disparities in veterinary medicine, a Black veterinarian social work perspective. That was a very unique topic because there are not very many Black social workers. So that was a very innovative, creative, just unique topic. And that was really exciting. The real Black girl magic, using mindfulness and yoga to promote strength and resilience. And so that topic like jumped out. Hey, this is yoga, this is movement. That's important. And then another example is modern day slavery 2023. We want criminal justice reform. Again, another very specific, direct, engaging, and biting topic. Does anybody have any questions about titles? Are y'all still with me? Y'all are quiet. Y'all still there? Okay, okay. So with the abstract, I think it's really, really important to know that both your title and your abstract will be printed in our promotional marketing materials for the conference. And so your abstract is only 100 words, and that's essentially a summary of your presentation. Okay. So this is also like after your title, this is literally what people will read to think about if they want to tap into your session. Okay. And this is really shared with the attendees. So we'll talk about the proposal in just a minute, but the proposal that's very long, that's very detailed, that is only shared with the committee. The title and the abstract are shared with the attendees. And you want your abstract to include information about your presenting issue. You may want to include information about the population that's impacted. By population, I mean, are we talking about, Black teenagers, between the ages of 12 and 19, right? What are some solutions related to the presenting issue or the challenges? And is there any other additional information that's relevant to the thesis of your proposal? So that is kind of what you want to think about as you're writing your abstract. And here is an example. So this is from Dr. Keith Akador. He presented at our conference in 2023. He's also a board member, but this was his abstract. Participants will learn about the challenges and disparities that Black men face in mental health. I tried to highlight the words that check those abstract boxes, along with tips, circled tips, right, on how to address the issues. So I know as I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, this proposal, this workshop is going to be about Black men's mental health. This presenter is also going to give me some tips on how to work with Black men who are dealing with this. The abstract also goes on to say this will be a safe place to discuss some of the most critical intervention points through the examination of myriad treatment types for Black men. So again, those key words that are being pulled out, critical intervention points, treatment types, that means, hey, we're not just going to get tips on how to address these issues. There's actually some solutions, right? So what are the treatment types that are specifically specifically related to working with Black men and that are successful. So that's really important. And then he gives some additional information. Additionally, we will look at how American values, ideology, stigma, and systemic oppression have created barriers for this demographic of people. So that's a really solid example of an abstract that really tells the people what they can hope to expect from that workshop presentation. Okay, you will also need to create three objectives, and those typically can come straight from your abstract. You want to use action verbs. I will make this PowerPoint available to individuals at the end, but the action verbs, Bloom's taxonomy, those are great. It's a great way to look at those action verbs to say, okay, if I want people to apply, is there another word I can use rather than apply, right? If I want people to analyze at the end of my session, like what word can I use? And so the three objectives, from the previous proposal with that abstract were to learn about the challenges and disparities that impact Black men's mental health and solutions on how to address the issue, right? That's straight from the abstract. To identify evidence-based interventions for supporting Black men's mental health. Again, he talked about treatment tips and interventions in the abstract. And then finally, to examine underlying ideologies and systems of oppression that have created barriers for Black men. So that was that last piece from the abstract that talked about these additional things that they were going to look for. So your objectives can come straight from your abstract since that is your summary. Okay, so you'll have to let us know your objectives. And then finally, your proposal. Okay, your proposal should be 1,000 words or less. So it's really not a lot of information. It's not a very long proposal. But what this is doing is this is an expansion. This is the detailed portion of your abstract. So this includes the same information, the background information of your presenting problem. Why is this issue important to the Black community and to Black social workers? And make a case, provide evidence to support your claims, right? So you want to use statistics. If you have a theory that you're working from, you want to use a theory, but be specific, be clear. And also, as a part of your proposal, we ask that you tell us how you plan on engaging attendees. So what does that look like for you? Does that look like, having handouts? Does that look like having visual aids? Does that look like being able to have discussions? Are you asking questions? How does that look? Let's see. Charles Lee has a question. Will the proposal review board offer guidance on what category a proposal falls into, clinical macroethics, or do the presenters need to identify that at the front end when the proposal is submitted? Great question. You will check that box before the proposal is submitted. Now, I will say, if the committee gets the proposal and thinks, man, this individual said that this was a clinical proposal, but we see a lot of evidence from the code of ethics in this proposal. So we're going to, we might come back to that presenter and say, hey, this looks great. Would you be okay if we considered this for the ethics track? And then that way, if people come to that, they can get an additional hour in ethics. We will have a pre-conference ethics workshop the day before the full conference. But in cases like that, if the committee says, hey, this was really good for macro, but we kind of think it also fits in leadership, and we'll just go back to the presenter and ask if they would be okay with that track. So that's a great question. But if you want to, we do want to know how you plan on engaging attendees. Y'all, to be honest, the most challenging thing about running a conference and working with presenters is that some people, we don't know you, right? So when we're saying, yes, this proposal is amazing, we don't know if you have strong presentation skills. We don't necessarily know if you have a really good plan. Like, we are just trusting the information that you're giving to us. And so what we will do for those of you who are like, man, I really want to present, but maybe I've never done this before, or I don't know if my outline is good enough. I have looked at PowerPoint present people slide decks before. I give presenters the option if they want to meet with me individually, like after we've said yes, your proposal is accepted, we'd love for you to present. I'm willing to meet with you and to go over anything specifically about your session, any questions that you have. We want you to be successful, okay? I cannot stress that enough. We want you to be successful. And I will also say, that we want you to be successful, but we also want to continue to provide an opportunity for people who maybe have never done this before. We want to give you that opportunity to share your knowledge. So please know that there's support kind of all along the way as we go through this process. So what's the timeline? Our call for proposals, it has here that it opens July 19th. Y'all, I opened it this morning, but you're the first to know. I opened it this morning, and the call for proposals is now available on our website. We will make a social media post letting people know the call for proposals is open. We will also send something out on our mailing list letting people know that the call for proposals is open, but it is open. And the deadline is September the 1st. So September the 1st at 11:59, that proposal submission form will close. So please make sure that you get your proposal in if you're interested in doing that by September the 1st. Presenters will be notified by September 15th. And so we have a quick turnaround as a committee. We have an amazing conference committee. They work so hard, y'all. They start literally a few weeks after we shut down our previous conference, and they meet more regularly than any other committee that we have in the CBSW. So they will turn those around pretty quickly. Presenters will be notified by the 15th. And we ask that then you respond to us quickly, that I will send you an intent letter. And if you plan on, presenting, then we'll have you sign that letter of intent. And then you will need to send your headshot and your bio. We ask for all of those things very early, so that as people are registering for the conference, they can see the caliber of the workshops that we're providing. And so that we can also promote y'all for the next, 5 months before the conference starts. So we really, really, really want to use this as an opportunity to promote you all, and to give you a platform. So that is the timeline. And then also, we are constantly looking for sponsorships for our conference. And so I did not want to, I would be remiss if I didn't give you the opportunity, or have you take this information and share this opportunity with your employer, or for those of you who are with universities, your universities or agencies or private practice groups or anybody really. Who want to support the CBSW. So we're constantly looking for sponsors. That's why we're able to keep the cost of our conference very low. And so if you know anybody who would like to sponsor our conference, please, please let me know. That information is also available on our website. And we are so grateful for all of our sponsors. We've even had individual sponsor our conference, at the yellow level. And so we work the best with word of mouth. Most of our sponsorships come from our board members and our members. And so they are from their connection. So if you know anybody who would like to sponsor, please, please let me know that. And sponsorship deadline will be January 15th. So we do have some time. All right, now it's time for me to be quiet and stop sharing and see what questions you all might have about the proposal process. Does anybody have any questions? You can just, we're a small enough group that you can just come off your mic and ask your question. It looks like we do have a question in the chat. It says, you may have already said this, but how many slots are available for presenters at the coming conference? Excellent question. Right now, we are thinking that there are 15 spots available for conference presenters. And so we are going to be in a space. I can't yet announce what that space looks like. I can't say the name, disclose the name just yet. But we're in a space that actually has larger rooms. So the rooms will hold, 50 or more people. We will keep the movement room small, but we will probably be looking for between 12 and 15 presenters. Great question. Did somebody else have a question?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. May I have the dates of the conference again, please?
Yes, absolutely. So the conference will be March 7th, 2025. It's typically we try to keep it on that first Friday in March. And then the pre-conference festivities, like our pre-conference ethics workshop and our awards banquet will be the half a day before March the 6th. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I
Thank
was
you.
putting, yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Was this helpful at all? I mean, I just wanted to be able to give people information so that, we're all on the same page about what the CBSW is expecting. And we really do want you to present, and we want to make it as smooth and easy as possible. While I still have y'all just for a few minutes, let me just show you. I'm going to pull up and share my screen and just kind of show you what the conference call for proposals looks like online, so that you can see that, so that you can go to that. Hopefully I can get you that website. Okay, so this is our website. And if you go to conference, under conferences call for proposals, and if you just click under that call for proposals, I just changed this like an hour ago. Call for proposals for 2025 is now open. And so this is all of the information essentially that we went over today. And this tells you what the proposal criteria is. The proposal is in a Google Doc format. So you'll want to have like all your stuff kind of written out in a Word document. So you just copy and paste over to the Google Doc. And if you click submit a proposal, hopefully you can it looks like it's trying to get there we go. This is what it looks like, and then you just hit next, and this is where you put all the information. And so it won't let me advance because I haven't answered some of those required questions, but the final page is where you'll put down your title, your abstract, your objectives, all of that information. And so like I said, that's just right right on our website, the cbsw.org. And we can, the cbsw.org. So if you go there and just click on conference, call for proposals will come up. Okay, let's see.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
great. Oh, guys.
Thank you
Thank you
so
guys
much,
so much.
Carmen.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah, and the Google Doc, you just fill that out and it comes straight to us, okay? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And you have until September the 1st. You can start like gathering information and all of that stuff. Okay. Y'all be safe. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.